Hello and welcome to the Cat Collective. I'm Nina, I'm the channel for this channel. And let's start. If you find a word, it's yours. I didn't even look. I was like staring away, looking away from something. So that's all right, I guess. Recycle, resistance, and perfectionism. Oh, okay. Learn from the past and apply it to creating your vision of the future. Okay, resistance. I'm not sure why. I guess I want to sort them my way. Resistance, understanding why you resist what you have to do is a crucial part of the creative process. And then perfectionism. Be content to know perfection as a distant utopian goal to which we journey, but we never arrive. Okay. So, oh yeah, look, that looks perfect, right? But also kind of boring, right? Because if it's perfect, this means there's nothing to repair or to do, you know, to improve. If there's nothing to improve, what, right? There's just what did we recycle? So I use are you repeating some things because you are okay? Are you repeating certain things because you think that you need because there is no such need anymore? The perfectionism is close. Oh, okay. Could be that with repeating though, I'm reminded of you know, with a guitar, repeating your own songs over and over again, right? That's that can turn into a comfort zone, or it can, you know, the life force can get out of it, out of the music if you are having to repeat it all. You know, it's always those. So I play guitar myself. I find it incredibly hard to repeat even my own songs. I even go as far to say I can't do that. I can't. Usually, you know, it's just because it's very hard for me to repeat the same things because it will always be different. And that's the beauty of it, right? And I feel that maybe there's a situation in your life where you feel that you need to repeat it the same way over and over again because only this is perfectionism, when the real perfectionism lies in the spontaneous moment of creating music or whatever you are doing, right? It's more spontaneous. There's no plan, you know, you just take the instrument and you just play and then something develops out of it. And that's the part that is alive, whereas the already composed song, the written down sheet music, everything like that is way too constructed, and it would sound like that if I would read all the things I would say to you because it is so robotic and repetitive. You know what I mean? Yeah. But also there's with resistance, okay, there is some sort of resistance in there. It could be, yeah, of course, when perfectionism is on the table, is that you are resisting maybe to do this because you think it needs to be a certain way. So you think you for example, with music, yeah, well, the guitar is on the table, right? Let's talk it through, right? So it could be that you have this the thought in your head, oh, if someone a good musician needs to know all music theory, which is already a myth, right? And then a good musician needs to, have a lot of practice in everything, right? A good musician needs to be, if you ask the person, how long are you playing this instrument? And this person doesn't say 10 years plus, they are not a good musician. And things like that in your head, right? It's this resistance, the perfectionism of everything. This needs to happen, or people have to have experience from childhood on, or whatnot, all the things that we tell ourselves to not do things, right? And I think that something is not right about it. That, of course, that's the resistance that's holding you back, of course, I think, to just do it, which is the resistance being ignored when you say, oh yeah, just do it. There's no resistance if you can just do it. But if you can't do it for some reason, there is something that is playing against you here. And what is it? It's usually yourself, right? Recycle. Learn from the past. Yeah, right? Learn from the past. Yeah, I think there is something in your past that makes you resist this. Everything you've learned in the past. We always say we learn from mistakes, so we don't do them again, right? But what if this is the wrong thing to do, to learn with a mistake? Because in the end, the lesson was the whole point of it. And if you didn't do the mistake, or, maybe you are afraid of mistakes in general, like with music, it's the most obvious. If you play something and it doesn't sound right, that's a mistake straight away, right? And for some reason, those mistakes, they appear a little bit bigger, because even people who don't understand anything about music might point them out because they can hear it too, right? So those mistakes, they just feel bigger somehow, right? But that's the point, right? When you say, oh, I learned this from the past because I have made mistakes and I'm not repeating them again. Yeah, but you needed to learn something out of it. And if the only thing that you learn in a situation is that you're not doing it again, did you really learn something there? Or is it just a blockade that you have installed? And with some things, of course, it applies. If you don't want to put your hand in a fire, right? That would be stupid if you would repeat something like that. But something with oh, I'm not doing it again because it hurts, or because it's uncomfortable, or because what? Is that really a lesson learned, or is this the wrong approach there? I feel it is the wrong approach. If something makes you uncomfortable, you might want to go there again, and not in a form of, there's a fine line between not repeating things and repeating things, right? We can say to ourselves that this is the reason that you can't go there anymore, because we did that one time, not doing this again. But you could also see it as a form of growth, being close to things that hurt, maybe, right? So when you want to see the fire example, I'm just getting this, how glass is being made, the glass blowers, I think, they work with so much heat, and then it's so, there's such a fine line between creating something really beautiful and the heat and the pain of possibly touching hot glass, right? So it's a very thin line between that. So it's very close to something you shouldn't do, which is literally put your hands in fire, but still working with it to a degree that of mastery that you then can apply and you can create something really, really extraordinarily magnificent, right? So there's this, I feel that this bridge wants to be there. There's this bridge between doing something, not doing something, and also perceiving what you need to do or how things need to be, right? It's also the classical way of thinking that a musician needs an album. Who invented that, actually, right? And I'm pretty sure that the beginning of music never really consisted of an album, right? That an album has been at some stage of human development just automatically been created to have something for a musician. But is it really the case? Do you really need an album as a musician, right? Is this a thing? And also the length of songs and everything, right? Is it really, do you really, what kind of standard is this? Can we rethink this maybe, right? That or just that a musician needs a song. What if there's a beautiful musician out there who never plays songs, but whenever the musician touches the instrument, the musician makes some music, right? But it doesn't need to be a song. There are no lyrics even required at times, right? It just wants to rethink some concepts here, because all those things are man-made, and they have entered our life, and they are here because they are standard, right? But does it really need to be? It doesn't, right? Just think about it, right? With Stars and the Bridge, though, there's the spiritual aspect to it, right? And the birds. I really like the way this looks now. Look, those birds. What's this bird called? In Germany, it's called Schwalbe, right? With those, well, it doesn't matter, because we put a name on it. It's still a bird, right? And I don't know if if we don't have language, we say something else to it, right? But I like how this is being reflected that way, right? There's this bird in here, and what do we have in the middle? It's you, right? We take them away. There's this light bulb moment right there. I feel that there's the bridge is coming to you. The bridge means an idea, and the bridge, this is coming to you, and it's on the perfectionism card. Be content to know perfection as a distant utopian goal to which we journey but never arrive. And that's the thing what wants to be looked at. An album, for example, or anything that you can put out that is like a house, like something you've built, something you drew, something you created, even with working with fire and then creating something out of glass, right? Things like that. They all have this certain endpoint. Yeah, you have achieved this, right? But I feel that your creativity and what you're doing needs to be looked at, that there's no end to it. Like this distant utopian goal that you never arrive at, that you are that this is a journey. So either you are on the journey or you are not. You can't pause it, even if you pause it. Do you know what I mean? So a musician might not play for a time. Can be a year, can be years even. It could be, right? But when a musician picks up the instrument, after years, miracles happen still. Because a musician can never stop being a musician. And it's about what you are identifying as. And I feel this is very narrow, because a musician isn't just someone who pulls the strings of an instrument. It's just so much more. There's so much spirituality involved. And where does it even come from? The ideas, the happy accidents that lead toward, creating some melodies that haven't been around before, right? Where do they come from? It's just from the stars, right? But I feel that this is if you had the mindset of, oh, I am restricting myself, which you don't think out loud, you just say, no, I'm not doing it anymore, for whatever reason, right? This is a part of the journey, where you put something aside and you don't do something anymore. But then you pick it up again after a certain amount of time. And you just, it's like seeing someone, a really old friend that you were very close with. And when you meet after years, you pick up where you left off. It's just like, oh, you never stopped. But you did, and you grew, and you developed yourself, and you listen to this in your creation, or you see it in your creation, you feel it in your creation, and you are, your development shows in your creation as well. It's very natural, right? And beautiful, though. And that's why the bridge is here. The bridge wants to tell you that what you are doing is not, you are not creating this and then this is done and this is finished. No, you are on the journey already. You can't stop walking on it. Yes, you think you are walking, over the bridge, and then you are from A to B, right? But it's not like that. It would be, the bridge is all your life, and there's no stopping it. And even a long phase of not doing things is a part of the journey. It's like walking through different landscapes, and you are walking through, if you walk through a desert, right? You come, eventually you will reach a place that has more to offer than the desert, right? Or, well, who says more, right? The desert has got something to offer as well, right? But we always like to look at the desert as something that is not as vibrant, fruitful, nourishing, which might be the case for certain individuals, but still there are creatures who only live in a desert. That's their life, and that's what they live for, right? So I feel that this is, you arrive from A to B, or you think that you need to arrive from at a certain point, but you're not. You're walking through a landscape, and then the landscape changes, just like this, right? This. And there's a desert, and then there's a land where there's water and everything, and then it goes with the leaves here, seasons change even, and all of that, and the greenery here. And it's just, you're walking through things, and even, the exploration of creativity or what you are doing in general is just, it's just taking you on a journey through different landscapes. And even if you explore different things, like, let's say you explore music, and then you explore painting, and then you explore whatnot, whatever you do, right? It's still, in the end, this big landscape that you are, when you really look down on from a higher perspective, it's all one, because it's your planet, you, right? So this is This is you standing there, right, in your planet, and maybe realizing this, that it's not as straightforward and limited, maybe even, right? So I really, I feel that there's this weight that is gone from this. Because in the end, it shows you that all of this, most of all the imperfections of the things that are really not perfect are the things that build this construct. You know, it's consists of so many other things. And that's beautiful. And it wraps it all up with those birds standing there like this and looking at this, right? It's like, yeah, I mean, look at this. This is a landscape, isn't it? It's totally different. Totally different phases. Doesn't seem cohesive, right? Not at all, like a, you know. But in the end, it's still, even though it looks different, it still fits together. And that's the perfection in it. Yeah. So reflection. Oh, yeah, that's being added to it as well. The reflection. Because a reflection makes it cohesive. A reflection is often, symmetry. We like symmetry, right? We like it because it's calming us down, because that's why I was drawn to, arrange the cards a little bit. I'm like, is it symmetrical to, the camera angle and all that? I don't know. But we like it that way. But we also, I think there's beauty in chaos as well. Yeah, because this makes it more vibrant, more alive, I feel. And it's a kaleidoscope image. Is so beautiful. And it is not just like a book, right? This, right? It is all over the place. And that's beautiful. Free. May your soul sing freely. Okay, yeah, see, there's no restriction to it. It's just, yeah. And there's the reflection here. See, and it all fits together. Completely different decks. It's all just one thing. And for C, right? This is also a part of it, and the stairs and all that. And there's the flow, right? And the flow can go, the flow can meet you in certain areas. And the flow, even with my hair that just fell on there, the flow can meet you whatever you do. And you need to follow your flow and not judge anything like that. So if your flow is one thing, then you do that. And if your flow stops at one thing, you just go to the other thing and do something else. It's just so much bigger. Like, so yeah. Do you see that? Oh, I'm sure you see that. Yeah. So. I feel that with singing there is something about singing, because singing is very intrusive. If you are singing freely with everything you have, you need to be completely unconcerned about your neighbors and who might hear you, who might be annoyed by you. Music is, because it's making noise, and noise is very intrusive and can, it is just like that. It travels through the cracks in the walls and reaches everybody, right? It requires confidence, and it requires also to be unconcerned with what others think of you. And I feel that you need to go somewhere where you are where you don't have walls around you, right? Because if you have walls around you and you are, you need just for a phase, you can return whatever, but I feel that you need to be free with this, there are no walls around this bird, the seagull, right? There are no walls. You just want to be, it's like go to nature, to where you know that there are no others around. And then I feel that you need this as a breakthrough. You can take it back with you, but it's so freeing to go somewhere where you can be loud. And you know that there's no consequences when you do that, But funnily, nature listens too, but we always are more concerned when there are people around. Rightfully so, right? Because there can be neighbors who knock at your door or just whatever, right? So I feel that this needs to be addressed here. And also with nighttime, it could be that with the timing, I see that, when you live in a house, you can't play at night because you can't, that you are not allowed to. So that's a bit problematic when you want to do things around that time, which is the highly spiritual time. And then again, there's the reflection back again, the stars. The music comes from the stars. Why do they, why is it that most of the concerts are at night, right? Or in the evening time. And I feel that maybe you want to play some music at 3 a.m., but you can't. So find a way to do it. This is just something. And now I'm looking at her. She looks like a genie in the bottle, right? Because, yeah. Might be a wish there. Maybe you wish that you could be a genie in a bottle. Because it requires less space, right? Yeah, well, we see. A time to give rather than take. And be real. Okay. Oh, and the bottom of the deck is go wild. Yeah, right. Yeah. Yes. But it's a phase, right? When you are experiencing life and you are just being wild in other areas, it reflects back to some other more where you have been more restricted previously, maybe, right? So it's all again a system, and again the nature. So it says howling to the moon, I'm getting. So it says that, but also time to give rather than take. Maybe you think that when you are getting the gift of being able to be yourself, that you just take, but it's not. You are giving too, because everybody who witnesses this will be affected positively, right? It's you're doing the work on behalf of others so they can follow, because they knew, maybe again this old friend, if some old friend from the past witnesses your development and sees you now, they might be surprised, but also motivated, because they knew you back in the days and they know you now and you've changed, right? So that's like, oh wow, right? There's so much, and this journey of creativity, or whatever you do, this journey always changes you. And you are always on a journey as well. It doesn't matter if you are physically on a journey walking around the world, or if you are just sitting in the same old house, but doing whatever you do, right? So no judgment here, right? It's always a journey. So let's see who this reading is for. Oh, there you go. Leo. Okay, well, there you go. Yeah. Additional info is in a litter box below, and see you next time. Bye.